So, warm welcome to part 2 of the Spiritual Abuse series. And my most important message for this part is that nobody is more powerful than you are. If someone is going after your energy, this is because you are way more abundant than they are. They need your power, they need your energy, they need you to be complicit with them. You don't need them. They made you believe you need them. And that has to do with the wounding all of us are experiencing in childhood. We are all traumatized, more or less. Not all of us undergo stuff like I did in my childhood. But even if you have had a quite decent upbringing in a normal, with normal parents, you did experience trauma and all kinds of abuse need a wound that is within us, and it is important to face that wound so it will no longer be a kind of weak point within yourself. And although I shared in the last video that they seem to be everywhere, and I will ponder about this in this part a little bit more, they are only powerful because people believe they are powerful. Only if they make you believe that they can threaten you or anything like that, only then can they harm you. I can tell you I have been attacked many times. I've been threatened many times, and I wouldn't be able to share this video if they would have any power over me. And I can also tell you, and you can see, I'm a very normal person. And if they can't harm me, they will not be able to harm you unless you believe it. So, yes, they seem to be everywhere, but on the other hand, they are not as powerful as they present themselves. That's just not true. They are actually scared of normal human and normal human awakening that just every normal person will be able to just take their power away just by realizing they hold the power within themselves. Okay. So the sisterhood I have been speaking about, that I was a member in, seemingly also in other lifetimes, is using the symbol you can see in the picture behind me. And not long ago, a few weeks ago, when I did some research, because I was never deep into too much into conspiracies and MK Ultra, and from time to time I did read something about it because I knew there is truth to it, but I was nobody who read all of those books. So it took me until the end of 2020 that I've been reading the book of Casey O'Brien with the title The Trance Formation of America, where she is speaking about her being, a victim of MK Ultra, and she was exposing a lot, also the order of this flower behind me, and that this is top level conspiracy for bringing in the New World Order, that it was relating to some really nasty stuff, and she was sharing about that in that book, and I didn't know that. And one thing where I disagree with Casey O'Brien, but I think that is fine, is she didn't see that this is also taking place on the other realms, or she was not talking about that part of the story. And that this is not actually something that is new and that was created in the 20th century, but this is much, much older. This is a part of the story that it might be she was not aware of, or she didn't want to speak about it, whatever might have been the reason. But I was astonished to find this order in this book mentioned, and they are everywhere. I really have to say this, and they always kept an eye on me. And in the end of 2017, when that was the year when I became aware of that abusive sisterhood, I came across another guy who was actually talking about and exposing himself a lot of the religious stuff and the New Age stuff, and so I kind of trusted him, but it was only 2019 that I came a little bit closer into his community and all of that, when I realized, okay, there's something going on that isn't quite right. And very interesting how we have a tendency to oversee red flags, because our own interpretation comes out of our own wounding, and very often parts of us are very naive and innocent, and they believe the other person is of the same kind than we are. And so when I had the first face-to-face talk with that guy, and he was looking at me and he said, that he likes the picture behind me. And so I thought I knew him from other lifetimes, and that he had broken out himself too. And when he looked at me and he said, "You made yourself some mighty, mighty enemies," my interpretation was that he knew because he was clairvoyant, not that he might still be under that influence. I didn't think that back then, but later I had to find out he's MK Ultra, big time. And it was in the end of 2019 that I actually thought about cutting ties to that group too. But I liked a lot of the people in there. That's one of our weak points, You know, if it is not for the teacher that we think knows so much more than we do, it is very often that people stay because of the company of the other people there, who are a little bit of their own kind, and so you want to have company. And so many people stay in those circles, and that is also the reason why so many people keep their eyes wide shut, even if they realize something is going on in these groups, because they don't have the strength to walk on their journey on their own. Yeah. So I really enjoyed the company of those people. And then in the beginning of 2020, something interesting happened because I knew something was fishy about that guy. He was under some influence. And but then he confessed to his group that he had been part of the SSP, the Secret Space Program, but that he had freed himself. And I believed him. That is the inner child that wants to believe. Belief is a dangerous thing because belief is very often blinding us, and we want to believe that other people are genuine, and maybe he believed himself he has broken free, but I had to find out he didn't. And so I was leaving his community at the end of 2020, and yeah, there have been a lot of stuff going on there. And it's really interesting, you know, this guy was used for the Galactic Confederation of Light, and he broke free from that a few years ago. And then in the beginning of 2020, he broke free of the SSP, and people believe when they have broken free from some abuse that they have healed themselves. And next time this is never going to happen to them again. And that is, again, a belief that is really, really dangerous. And we really have to look at the core wounding. And as long as we don't dare to face the really ugly truth, for example, to have been a victim of mind control, and that is really scary if you have to realize that. But only if you realize what was going on, and if you really dare to look your fear in the eye, only then you will bring in the awareness that will really set you free. And so thinking, yeah, I freaked myself, and that's it. That's not the way it is working. What made us actually vulnerable, and what self-image do we want to defend, for example? Is there something out there that we are searching for? For example, we might look in such a group, we might look here for companionship, or for knowledge, or for being seen as someone who's special and who is worthy and who's part of the club, or to be accepted, whatever it might be. We have to look at ourselves. What is it that makes us actually vulnerable? What is it we are searching for? Because in the end, I can tell you, all you've been searching for on the outside. You know what all of those groups and all of those teachers and healers and gurus, what they're all doing? They are selling you the key to your own castle, and they stole it out of your pocket. And now you obey to them, you follow them, you worship them, you pay them for what is yours. Because they need you. You don't need them. And yeah, this is my message for today. You don't need them. And don't feel bad if you have been falling into the trap. Many people have been falling into that, and they are still in there. And so don't feel bad for waking up, because this is what they want to prevent. And you hold the power for your own life within yourself, and you make the decisions for your life. They don't have any power over you unless you hand it over. And yeah, that's it for today. Please take good care. Until next time, I'm Natalie.